Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Gamehater, a show where we play games that maybe we should not have bought and decide how much we hate them. I'm Steve, Aaron is with me,
Good evening.
and the game of tonight, excuse me while I fuss with Windows for a moment, the game of tonight is Aquaria. A game called Aquaria. As always, we go into these kind of lines, so I don't really have much to say about that. It seems to be underwater. Serious water theme. We got some bubbles on the menus.
Yeah, it's a recent game we just picked up from the latest Humble Bundle, which
Yes.
pretty timely of us this time. So, I mean, if you happen to like this game, it is currently there for the cheap. If you don't like it, which that's what we're hoping for, then don't buy it.
Well, I mean, you can still support the charity. Just give $0 to Humble Bundle and the developers.
That's true.
So we have some kind of mermaid lady. She's talking.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be like Rudo's creepy cousin.
Yes, the one that Link immediately rebuffed instead of waiting 7 years to let her down easy.
Yeah, I mean, she has hair, so maybe this is like what Link and Rudo's daughter would have looked like if they actually did the fishy business.
Let's run with that. Yeah, I think I commented on this while I was playing Breath of the Wild, but Link is a Rudo magnet.
Oh, for sure. They cannot get their clammy gills off of him.
Rubbing their fins all over his meaty mammal face.
But eventually, loneliness and restlessness drove me.
Yeah, let's start. Let's lead with loneliness and resistance. That's the character traits I want in my heroes.
So is that like a giant fin in her back, or is she wearing a cape?
I think it's a stylish underwater cape. Man,
Oh,
look at
okay.
these great animations.
Wow.
So the music is kind of serene underwater music, as one would expect.
The kind of water that, you know, was established by the king of water levels, Donkey Kong.
Yes, very reminiscent. So I'm trying to find what button I can use to open the map. There it is. Because despite my controller, the prompts are all going to be keyboard.
Oh, so you had to play with the keyboard, no gamepad?
Well, I am playing with a gamepad, which means the prompts are useless to me.
Ah,
Sting? Is this my
so
Sting?
they're not even giving you like the prompts for the actual device you're using then.
Right.
So you have like this wheel, and I suppose it does something, but it's sort of confusing.
And that is the button I'm supposed to be. I don't know.
I feel like this is probably a game that probably would work better with a mouse and keyboard. I think that's the way they want you to play it.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna bow down to their demands. Maybe it said Sting. Did it say Sting or Sting? I read it as Sting, and now I'm doubting myself. Click on that.
Why would you need to jump underwater? You're underwater.
Yeah, none of this makes any sense. Maybe I do have to use the mouse and keyboard. No, wait, I found a way to do a thing.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I just have to... So I have a wall jump in a swimmy underwater game.
Yeah, isn't that kind of weird?
Wow, why would I want that?
It's like, what good does that do you when
Right.
basically any area you can go to is already accessible?
Yeah, I guess I go a little faster.
Yeah.
That part's
I mean, I guess that's what happens when, you know, you're half Rudo, half human, and, you know, you really want to embrace the whole wall jumping thing, but you're already
Right.
underwater.
She saw Daddy Link with the hook shot and fell in love. I don't know. They're really pushing this whole keyboard thing.
Yeah, they really do not like the idea that you're using a gamepad. Like, they're not even entertaining the idea that you might use a gamepad.
No. Okay, sing the same color notes as a plant to open it. Am I
Okay, well, that seems like
colorblind?
the top one. No, I think you're using the right one.
Oh, I had to hold it down. Would want it to move too fast. I might start having fun.
Oh, great. So we're in another Metroidvania where you can float around and manipulate vegetables.
The most fun of all Metroidvanias.
Yeah. Certainly that's what, made us really love the game Mars Awakes or Awaken Mars, whatever that game was called.
Oh, yeah.
With a powerful thrust of my
There was so much shrubbery to, manipulate and discover that I couldn't contain my excitement.
I know, we were documenting all those plants. What a dream. And here, I mean, we're not even having that much fun because there's no plants to document. Well, I guess that plant doesn't want me.
Well, I mean, you're probably not even hurt anyway. You haven't really done anything yet.
Yeah, that could be just not giving me the health until I need it.
As I sang,
Well, I mean, why waste a perfectly good plant when you don't need it?
Certain songs stirred the verse deep.
There's a song menu.
Changes in the surrounding waters.
Whoa, creepy fish curl head.
Wrap the verse around
That was creepy.
protecting
I'm with
me
you.
from environmental dangers.
Okay, so we have to play Simon to... Okay.
I know sometimes this can be a good thing, but I feel like from the very beginning, you're kind of overwhelming us with options.
Yeah, and not giving us any reason to want to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this whole wheel of songs should be something we're learning, not just something we already have and have to immediately learn how to use it.
Right, I didn't even need all those notes at once, just
The
ease
power
me
that lay
into
within
it.
these crystals flowed to places beyond this world, and the memories of all who neared them were reflected in their depths. I chose to record my story within these crystals for the benefit of those who would journey beyond my life.
Okay, so this is a save point crystal.
Okay.
Good to establish save points.
So save points are giant rubies. Good to know.
Yeah. I do love how the dialogue she's giving me, they aren't even cluing me into what the function of these things are.
Right.
Just telling me, hey, press some buttons here.
In all my memories,
Actually, you know what I suddenly hope? I hope that's not like a giant ruby. I hope it's like a really small ruby. And actually what we're playing is a sea monkey.
the rest of my days.
Ooh, just in a fish tank in Link's house.
But I was compelled.
Yeah, even better. I mean, the sea monkey thing sort of left the whole, linked idea behind. But sure, let's go with that.
Well, we don't know what size human Rudo hybrid babies are.
Right. I think it turned out to be really, really small, and Link's like, oh, I'll get me a small aquarium, I guess. And now we're a fire person.
Yeah, we seem to have gone evil. Man, good thing we learned all the controls for the other one.
Yeah, I know. It would be a shame for us to have a completely different gameplay style to deal with now.
Yeah, well, at least there's something fun to do. I can blast some dudes.
Why didn't they start with this?
Yeah, come on. Will you chill it with homing fireballs?
Yeah, no kidding.
Honestly. Okay, so as you can see, my charge attack is homing missiles. They're giving me homing missiles right off the bat, which means they don't care whether or not I'm aiming.
Right.
Which usually means the combat system is just not well designed. What was that? Don't just give me a brief glimpse of something fun and suck me back into this crap. Come on.
Oh, great. Now we're back to the other game.
Strange form.
Would you like the bullet hell?
Come on, yeah. I want to be in bullet hell.
But I was no longer the same.
Wow, how disappointing.
I mean, it wasn't even giving me a glimpse of future power and the fun I'm going to have. It's giving me a glimpse of a completely different game that I'd rather be playing.
I mean, maybe. Maybe that's where the game is going as far as what you're hoping to achieve.
Yeah, but the button mapping didn't line up. The shoot button was my song button.
Okay, then yeah, this is a complete and total disappointment.
Sorry to ruin the hope for you.
Well, I was just sort of thinking, like in the sequel edits video, how they sort of convey in Mega Man X what your character can end up being. So, I mean,
yeah,
I thought maybe they might be doing that, but
like a Zero situation.
Yeah.
For those who haven't watched it, Sequelitis by Ego Raptor, the Mega Man X one's very, very good. and he makes the point that Zero shows up early in the game to show you what a fully powered battle robot looks like. It gives you something to aspire to.
Yeah.
Metroid games like to do that.
Yeah. And you just sort of look at it and you're like, okay, this makes it worth it. I want to be like that. I want to, have those kind of powers to play with, and it makes getting there worth it.
Secret wall. Yeah, exactly. So Metroidvanias like to do that too as well. Metroid Prime did it specifically by giving you a fully powered Samus at the beginning.
Right. Well, I mean, Other M also did it by giving you a fully powered Samus and then immediately saying you can't use this fully powered Samus.
Well, I mean, she needs a man's permission to use her powers.
Right. Which, didn't make any sense because I'm already a man playing her, so... So I'm a man needing permission from another man to make a woman use her powers.
Oh, that's just polite.
Yeah, see, like...
Sorry, go ahead.
She definitely has to be like a sea monkey, because you look at that, and it looks like a ruby. You know what it looks like to me? It actually looks like one of those ring suckers.
Oh, yeah, ring pop. I'm with you.
Yeah, she's saving on ring pops.
And soon the blue Pikmin will arrive and start stealing her save points.
There were many strange ingredients.
That'd be tragic. I mean, they would be like humongous compared to her.
By cooking them together with the verse.
Oh, good, a cooking system.
Some of my recipes proved to be very useful.
You can plant a leaf or a hand roll. Or is it a plant leaf or just you can plant a leaf? I think it's just a plant leaf.
I think it's just a plant leaf. I don't see.
Which begs the question, is there different kinds of leaves that aren't from plants?
I don't know. I can't think of a way for that to happen. I made a sea loaf. Woohoo. So I can tell we're already kind of doing this game a disservice because we're completely ignoring the dialogue. But on the other hand, I don't want to listen to this dialogue.
Yeah, the game needs a reason for me to care, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's not inspiring.
And it would sort of contradict ourselves when it comes to how we like our stories in games. And I feel like this is one of the ones where maybe an opening cinematic would have been nice. I know we sort of harp on it. We get long ones, but just something besides her waking up on a rock, going, "Man, I'm so lonely. I'm going to go suddenly do some things."
Right. They could have opened with that whole flash forward sequence. Just to give me some promise of something interesting happening. Yeah, so I'm immediately reminded of another one we played, Song of the Deep, which was also a lazy walk through an ocean environment with boring narration. Okay, I found the way out.
Although I think that one would be compared favorably to this one. I mean, we both had kind of a good time with that one. It wasn't a perfect game, but it's one of those games we sort of keep on our list of this is one of the good ones.
Oh, you're thinking of Deep Buddy.
Oh, am I? Okay.
Song of the Deep was you were like a submarine.
Oh, right. I remember that one. Yeah. Fuck that game.
Yes. With like awkward crane controls and this is new.
There's a giant fish and you go towards it?
Of course.
Have you never watched Star Wars?
I need to establish dominance.
So yeah, comparing this one to Beat Buddy, since that's what I was talking about. I mean,
right.
Beat Buddy was another underwater game. It was more about rhythm, but it was more interesting to explore.
Yeah, and you know what game where that game had? This one did not. Gameplay.
Oh, yeah, it did. And its actual story and narration in it was nice because it had a sense of humor about it.
It did. Yeah, the whole humorless and introspective ramblings do not do much for me.
No, and there are so many games that are like that, and I just don't get into it, no matter what the game is.
No, I can't think of a single example.
Ruins lay the untold histories of Aquaria. With exploration and perseverance, I would along with knowledge.
I'm exploring and I'm swimming around, but I don't feel like I'm ever finding anything.
Yeah, there's just so much to explore right now. Which I mean, that's great to have so much to explore, but we don't.
It's so aimless.
Training, yeah.
And since I can't really interact with the environments, I can't even make my own fun while I do it.
Yeah, I mean, you get games like the original Legend of Zelda, where it's really open from the beginning, but at least almost immediately you're uncovering things or more about how the game works.
But did not provide an obvious means for
right, you're fighting Octoroks. Maybe you're going to find out about bombs by collecting them.
This one, what we're finding out is the boring aspects of a lame-ass story.
Yeah. My goodness. And even half these sea creatures you don't even interact with.
Yeah, they're just decorations.
Maybe. Yeah. It's really one of the things that's bothering me about that is it's not clear to me which ones I should worry about, which are harmless.
Also, singing to get things takes way too long.
It's forever.
This looks promising.
Yes. It's pretty.
Yeah.
But there's...
I mean, even if that guy has a really long tongue, and the other one in front has testicles hanging out the back.
It's just some butt balls.
I mean, butt balls are normal for fish people.
I hold still and the game zooms in on the butt balls. There we go. Yeah, so am I are they trying to teach me something? Is this a song I should try to play?
What are those things that keep flying towards you? They're like little mini jellyfish.
Jellyfish. Okay. Oh man, they do not want this. Okay. Time to use a mouse. Yeah, I mean, this game claims it has controller support, but that is a goddamn lie.
Yeah,
right, so
did that actually accomplish anything for us?
I played your song.
Do you actually have to play it for longer beats than...
Maybe.
Of course, there might be some specific order that we're supposed to discover and come back and use it.
Yeah, maybe it's that door I passed. There's something particularly frustrating about games that are just so chatty that you start ignoring it.
Yeah, then you just completely lose what's going on when they actually do tell you something important.
Right. Or they leave out the stuff you actually care about.
Like, hey, this is what you're supposed to do in this game.
Right. Alright, let's sing a song for this guy. The only song I know. He's not impressed.
Oh, good. A save point.
Gotta keep that progress.
Those could also be giant rupees, too.
They could.
Throwing that out there with our sea monkey theory.
There's gotta be something fun to do in this game. Get burned by an anemone? Okay.
Maybe go annoy a snail?
Yeah. He seems to drop a thing if I sing at him long enough. No. Take that back.
I hate that our only real way of interacting with this world is singing, and singing only seems to work maybe 1% of the time.
Yeah. It's infuriating. Above all else, it's demotivating. Okay, so here's that door. So it was... No, it's screwed up.
I did a thing.
Yep, so it did.
Yay, we're in another area with no context.
No context, no sense of purpose, no feeling of progression. They just gave us a purpose.
Yeah, I can't believe the game didn't just stop and go like, and then she looked down and noticed there was a whole bunch of strange little jellyfish blocked by a rock, thanks to her ability to see in the second dimension.
Except with this game, it would have nothing to do with any of that. It would be like, she remembered her grandmother's warnings about overcooked ramen noodles.
The crystal was not light.
Oh, a blue crystal.
I don't know how to deal with this.
I could sense the presence of something.
I think the worst thing is that she's like narrating her own life.
She's very lonely.
What happens when you're like really lonely? You start speaking in the first person.
Right. So lonely, even her imaginary friends. Hey, it's Princess Ruto.
Her gaze
Looks more like Rutella.
It does.
And though she did not speak, I could hear her words echoing inside my head as clear
It's like
as the
I could
wind.
hear her words echoing inside my head, which I won't actually let you hear her words. I'm just gonna tell you that I heard them.
Let's focus on my
I
words
closed
for the
my
short
eyes
term.
and felt for one brief moment that I was connected to all of history.
Oh, connected to all of history.
A little bit, huh? Maybe we can do a little time travel, hit a more interesting point in the storyline.
From the
No, you can't.
I inherited a new
Ooh, the
soul.
vines.
Oh, we learned the bind song.
Diverse
Yay.
physical objects. I would
It's
be able to move them
That's the order of things.
Okay, well that was actually a pretty useful set of instructions, so we'll just find a rock.
So now we have a rock that wants to follow us.
Yeah,
Oh, and you're killing all the guys you're trying to rescue.
finally. A verse egg.
And you
Going to
hatch
hatch
a
a
rock.
new song. Yeah.
These odd containers held the pure essence of the verse.
Oh, you got the pure essence of the verse
That's good.
and increased your life force.
Man, life has been such a problem for me. Did I just trap myself? Oh dear.
He's gonna play that same song again.
Come on, Rock. I'll just glitch through it.
Okay, well, whatever works.
Yeah. Well, I guess I can go to new places now because I have the power to move a rock.
Apparently so. There's been a lot of rocks out there that we've just sort of had to leave and not do anything with.
Man, look what's under this rock.
Oh, it's an egg
Come on.
plant
Rock.
thing.
I just want to drop the rock. No!
I'm already immediately reminded of Chronicle of Teddy with how you had to interact with
Yeah.
things, but even it was not as obnoxious as this as far as having to play
No.
different songs.
Yeah.
At least it was just limited to, like going into certain doors and stuff like that.
Yeah, they restrained themselves a lot better than this game did.
It's like this rock it just lives here now.
I have a rock. This is my life now.
You come home to your parents, and the rock's next to you, and they're like, "Oh, you brought a rock home with you," and like, yeah, can I just keep it in my room now?
And your dad's like, I don't approve of that granite rock in my house. Just
And they're like, by all means, Dad, make it leave. Oh, use it on the shell. You devious bastard.
Just helm a rock to the house.
Has that poor slug not suffered enough?
No, I need to blow up its giant head thing. Head domes will not be tolerated in today's society. So where's the song for scaring off anemones?
You haven't learned it yet.
Is that song in the Finding Nemo soundtrack?
It probably goes something like boo 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 boo.
Yeah, probably. It's the most boring kind of singing too. Just she's singing solid tones, a little bit of reverb. This rock's where this isn't even a rock; it's a shell. Man, I miss my rock.
Yeah.
My dad's gonna be so upset.
I mean, she's such a terrible singer that her song about making rocks follow her also summons shells. I mean, you gotta have a terrible sense of music to have something like that happen to you.
Yeah, I don't think that many shells are made of stone. Well, Shell, look, I know you don't want me getting my own but I need a rock now. We had a good thing going, Shell, but now it's over.
So how do you make it move? It's where you can't actually... Oh, you can just swim through it, I guess, now.
Yeah. The physics aren't so great.
I mean, I guess it's a good thing that it doesn't block you completely, but it's not the best design.
No, they could have found a much better solution.
What's going on?
What
are you doing?
I found a piece of lost
treasure.
treasure.
It's a lost treasure!
Really? They're not going to have her opine about lost treasures? I didn't even read it.
I realized that it was a lost treasure. It brought me back to the one time when I took a rock back to my father, and he told me no self-respecting daughter of mine will get married to a rock, no matter how much she sings at it. That day made me sad. So sad that I went to go sit outside on a rock where I felt lonely. And that led me to today.
That rock was the only rock who ever understood me.
And you know who that rock was? Albert Einstein.
Oh no, we're back here.
So it doesn't feel like we made progress and we're already back there again.
Yeah. I don't even have a rock.
One thing that also bothered me is we have all these things floating around, but we don't have an effective way of actually killing them.
No.
I'm getting so sick of playing all these Metroidvania-style games where you can't kill things.
Combat is a key component of the genre.
No kidding. And they're like, oh, we're just going to have you swim around, float around, and do things. And it's going to be so fun because you're going to get to new areas where you can do more, nothing.
But no, it's artistic because you're learning the thoughts and feelings of a nautical abomination with attachment problems.
I would rather give my character their own thoughts and considerations and print them on the character while I am neck deep in the blood of my enemies.
Right, like going back to Samus Aran from Metroid. Giving her own personality was a terrible decision because they screwed it up. She should have been a ruthless and bloodthirsty mistress of war.
Yeah. Or, however it was you imagined her being.
Right.
I like to imagine her as just being, extremely xenophobic and kind of a fascist. I mean, she did blow up 3 different planets.
Right. She doesn't... Yeah, that's like she goes from someone who blows up planets to a living to asking permission to use a super missile. I mean, Samus Aran, as I envision her, uses super missiles to shut up people who are demanding that she ask their permission to use super missiles.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mess no matter how you look at it.
I don't have a song for this.
So you found a wall that you can't go through.
No. I think we're closing in on the end of the episode anyway. If there's any mercy in the world.
No, this time we must play this game to completion.
One session.
Then you look it up, it's like, oh god, it's a 15-hour game.
I would have balked at 4.
Yeah, some other people played this game, and they played it for a whole 3 hours at once.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Maybe they like just got back from having surgery.
Oh, you're killing somebody.
Yeah. And he doesn't really seem to give a crap. About
Right,
how many
like
times I beat him in the face with a rock.
Oh, you did it. You murdered somebody.
All right. Well,
This game is immediately better because we were able to kill something.
defeated the final boss of the game.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
Yeah. You can imagine your own done credits.
Basically, it's her going home to her parents and basically crying about her life decisions. Which is,
I'm
I
so
think,
sorry about the whole rock thing.
appropriate because we are also crying about our life decisions.
I'm tearing up. Salty, salty tears of sadness. I feel like that entire episode was our closing thoughts on this game.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Recognized it immediately as something that neither of us wanted anything to do with.
Yeah, I mean, I had some hope for this game when I first looked at it because, I mean, it's got a fun art style, which, I mean, cover so many indie games. And they always have great art styles.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I feel like you could make a good underwater game. I mean, it's not my preferred way of playing a game. I don't like it when you're constantly floating around everywhere.
The level design is always a little sloppier when your movement has 0 restrictions.
Yeah. Either that or you guys end up being in like really tight spaces, which is equally not fun.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we have played decent water games. Beat Buddy was good.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can think of. Jump Jet Rex, in a way, played like a water game because you had infinite flying.
Right. So, I mean, between those two games where you were either in water or space, it worked. It just, this one didn't at all.
It didn't. It's just one of those games where... So if you are stimulated by just exploring for its own sake and trying to find objectives, it's kind of like Myst in a way, where the game gives you very little direction and you stumble across things and try to figure out how to interact with them. But it's not done as well as a game like Myst. It's, I don't know, it just felt so tedious and not rewarding. Like, I got the ability to pick up a rock, but
right.
I haven't really been inspired to go anywhere if I wasn't playing a game in this format. I would have closed it like 2 minutes in.
Yeah. And one thing I want to pick on is, and we've already picked on a little bit, but it's this whole thing about manipulating things with music.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it's an interesting concept, but it really bothers me that we have something like this in this game and other games where they want you to interact by, like, you know, keying in these particular things that you memorize and so forth. But they don't actually put enough in the game where you feel like, oh, this makes sense because there are already so many other things you can do in this game. You need to have these certain combinations to justify these other things. Like, you look at a game like, and I always go back to Nintendo games, but you look at a game like Ocarina of Time, which sort of, I don't know if it was the first game that did it, but it's one of the most famous examples of having a game where you're...
The earliest, most prominent one.
Yeah. So you had the Ocarina, and you could do certain things with it, whether it was teleporting, you know, making it rain, making time speed up, whatever. Yeah. And yeah, that was part of the game, but there was also so much other things in the game. That wasn't the only thing there. That wasn't the only way to interact with the world.
Right. Yeah, imagine Ocarina of Time, but the hook shot was replaced with a song.
Right. And, you know, that's just not fun gameplay. It's not good gameplay.
Right.
I mean, even with how limited you use Ocarina in Ocarina of Time, I still found it kind of tedious to have to use it.
Mm-hmm. Right, because you have to commit a sequence of button presses to memory. And it's not that different from just having an item that does the thing. It saves you an inventory slot, but it increases the mental burden and the time spent on activating what could just be an item. You know, like an Ocarina of Time prominently used for warp points. You could have had some kind of medallion that just warped you there. Instead, you had to pull out an item, remember a song, remember the buttons to that song, and then watch a cutscene as you warp away. And like you said, Ocarina used it sparingly compared to a game like this, where it's the prime interaction. So you've got this 2D real-time quotation mark action end quote game. But to do anything, you have to pop into a menu and repeat the sequence of notes. Why can't I just use that wheel to select my grab spell?
Right. Or, you know, like, I don't know how many, like, different, like, abilities we're going to gain over the course of the game, but let's assume not a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, like, why even have that wheel at all?
Right.
It's like, why not just assign the ability to, you know, levitate rocks to one of your shoulder buttons?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, you know, all these different things that we're finding, like with the fruits and stuff like that we're picking up, why don't we just have a button that just says, okay, do you want to interact with this button? You interact with it, you pick up the item.
Yeah.
You shouldn't need to, you know, have to go through this whole, you know, routine just to collect basic collectibles.
Right. Yeah, and there are games that go even further with the concept. Comes to mind is Magica, which is a wizard game where you're constantly casting spells by keying in different elements in sequence. And that had the same kind of tedium. Like it's a cool concept for a while, but eventually you start wishing you could keybind spells you want and cast them quickly.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, really, what it comes down to this game is that, you know, it has like the bare bones of, I'm not going to say a good game or even average game of a game. It has a bare bones of a game, and then it took those bare bones and just added so many complicated levels to it that even if this game could be fun, just, you know, swim around and explore it, because I mean, it is kind of a pretty game.
Right.
It takes away even that just because it becomes so tedious.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing I want to talk about is the controller support. The controller support was horribly done in this game. You know, I'm using a gamepad, and the prompts are still all mouse and keyboard, so I had to experiment with button presses to figure out how to do anything. And did I just discover a spell? Anyway, the way you cast spells is broken on the controller, because you have to key the notes in order, and you know you're not always going to be that precise, and you might hit the wrong note in between. So if I try to go from, you know, like the song I learned to pick up rocks was every diagonal in sequence, which is the most dangerous thing to do with an analog stick. And no, the D-pad doesn't work either. So, just another thing they could have done better. Yeah, controller support.
Like even just that, like they even managed to get around that, like in the Wind Waker, where, you know, you had to, you know, point towards different directions to, you know, get each different beat. But at least it had a mechanic so you can make sure that you were pointing the right way before it registered.
Yes,
that is part of your sequence.
Right, because you were hitting notes in a given time signature, so it had a rhythm game element, which this one lacks, where the transition of your joystick doesn't count if you time it correctly.
Yeah, so I mean, in this game, like, it shouldn't even bother to even have a gamepad if it was going to be like this. They shouldn't have just scrapped the support for it because it clearly wasn't made to support it.
Oh, clearly not. Okay, so that was Aquaria. Final ratings?
My thought is this game could go take a dive.
Yeah, I give this game an early bedtime without any kind of snack. And if it does demand a snack, you can have one saltine and some lukewarm water.
That feels appropriate to me.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm drifting off. So bored. So
Yeah, I know
this game.
I felt just like the character did at the beginning of the game. She was already bored with this game. She wasn't even paying attention.
She tried to warn us. All right, that was Aquaria, a very, very boring game, and sorry we had to sit through that. And if you're hearing this, why did you sit through this?
Indeed. Hey, but consider yourself lucky. If you're watching this as a recording, you can fast forward to the good parts. But fair warning, there weren't any.
There were not. Yeah, so if you're skipping ahead to the review portion, just go to bed. Just go to bed. So this has been Gamehater. If you've got any suggestions for bad games that are at least mildly entertaining, we're open. And with that, we hate this game and we're going to bed. Good night.
Good night.